No some live.
Some live?
No some live Boku.
Man, why are we live, man? You know how live this shit is? The fucking it's so fucking cold. My neurons fucking don't work anymore.
Yeah, ah, yes, every episode starts with Kishley complaining about his life.
I know, bro. It was so fucking cold. I had to like pull up with like jacket after jacket. Like, look at this shit. Jacket one, jacket two, fucking jacket three type shit. Holy shit,
This
bro.
is so diabolical. We live like 10 minutes away from each other. I'm just wearing a full sleeve polo shirt.
I'm also half your size, so I get cold
Oh,
way
no, no, no,
easy.
no. Like, if I go outside my room, I'll have to wear something on this t shirt. My room stays warm somehow. It stays closed, so it stays
Somehow it's
warm.
crazy. My room is fucking cold as fuck. Oh my god.
I don't know.
Oh god. How have you been?
Fine, I guess. I've been debating a lot recently. I've been doing hell lot of mock debates, because I have two very good tournaments coming up. One is on 10-11, and one is
Mhm.
on 24, 25, 26. And
Ooh,
I might do one on 20th as a side quest, but I'm not really sure about that yet. So
side quest is crazy.
yeah. So other than I've been debating a lot, and so debating is one of those things. Like the more you do, the more you realize that okay, I know jack shit about this craft, even though I've been doing it for so much.
Well, that's every discipline for you, hello.
Nope, religion. I mean the fanatic kind, not the actual kind. Just to be clear.
Oh god. Why do you like debating? I never asked you this.
Um. Okay. Because I can insult people in cool new ways all the time without them realizing, and if they realizing in such a way that they cannot act upon it in any form or function.
How Freudian of you.
No, like that's like the answer I give to people to please people. But like the reason I like debating is I
That
think
is also very Freudian of you.
yeah, I know. Shut up with Mr. Freud. Okay. So I feel like the more grasp an individual has on the workings of language, not a particular language, language as a whole,
Mm,
the better he is able to contextualize his own thoughts not only to everyone else but also to himself, right?
good
and
enough.
and with public speaking, with debating, particularly with debating, because you can see so many perspectives flaunt off in so many different ways, linguistically speaking.
Uh,
Each time you win, you lose, it's a good comp, it's a shitty comp, more likely than not you see something new, something new bad, but something new, sometimes something new good, but something new.
uh,
I mean, no matter how much of an experienced debater you are, I mean, I believe this novelty of the craft stays. I mean, many people have told me before that, damn, Krishan, you won so much shit. Whatever you do, you at least leave a good mark on, if not win. How the fuck do you do that? I said, I never think about winning. I genuinely do not. This is not me acting cocky. I genuinely do not. I go to places for the love of the game to have fun. I have fun, and sometimes I end up winning.
fair enough, fair enough.
You know how
I
I
mean,
am in debates. I
uh,
genuinely have fun, not just debate.
I mean, this fucker pulls up with a crinkly ass paper as his notes. He pulls out from his pocket a paper that has been lying there for like 58 days and like, oh, let me just write my notes real quick.
Yeah,
Oh
so
god.
proving your point, I had a mock debate yesterday in which I was decent, not particularly bad, in fact good. This was my notes. Pechun ka kichun nahi. This was my notes for a 7 minute speech.
Uh, what was the motion?
So the motion was okay. I need to yeah. So okay, I have not written the motion, but I understand the motion. This house opposes the government actively funding AI guidance chatbots in areas with relatively low guidance counselors.
Okay.
Yeah, so
There's a bit.
I was opposing AI guidance chatbots. Okay, so I don't remember
Mm,
the motion's exact wording, but I was opposing AI guidance chatbots. Okay,
mm,
so I'll tell you my constructives that I have put in this very crumpled ass paper, like I usually do. You know me. Um, so a few bit of characterizations on my part that I had provided. I don't know why I'm dissecting a debate here, but then again, what's the point of this podcast, right?
uh,
So, um, so okay, so we were the opposition in this debate because I just wrote gov rebuttal here. So the most likely outcome of governments actually pushing funding chatbots is a rise in AI guidance systems. Duh. The stakeholders here are underdeveloped countries and the people seeking help and guidance, and characterizations of AI uh, as uh, as something having a positive affirmation bias, right? So AI is not made by saints or neutral organizations. Capitalist organizations do not care about you; they simply want to maximize their attention and profit. This is the
definitely.
bit of characterization that I put forth, and my constructors were first was of data privacy, uh,
Mm.
ethics and data privacy. I'm not going to elaborate too much because there's not a
Yeah,
debate
yeah. Keep it
about
surface level.
material. Second is positive affirmation bias. AI so far has proven to be reflective, not proactive, and it reflects the users and its datasets existing biases, leading to an echo chamber. No real guidance emerges. Uh, I had highlighted who are the people seeking guidance chatbot funding. These are people
Mm.
who are in need of guidance, right? So
Okay.
they are already probably not in the most sound mental state. We cannot expect decently mental actors also to be particularly able to protect all of the data from AI, all of their sensitive information from AI. So we cannot particularly cannot rely on these individuals to read every word in the privacy policy either, right?
Fair enough.
Last was no, I had four constructors. So third was this is a trade-off to long-term solutions because it's in the underdeveloped countries. So putting money in one hole means taking out of the other, right? So the other that I characterized was community mentorships, teacher-student ratios, right? Hiring of more counselors, and I proposed a counterfactual. So what happens in Gov's paradigm is it reduces urgency to build human capacity, it normalizes underinvestment in human resources, and it becomes a permanent excuse to future austerity, right?
Okay.
Uh, Fourth and last constructive was uh, the most advanced chatbots today rely on user provided inputs, pattern recognition, not general understanding. It cannot understand the non-verbal cues of a student seeking help, right? And students cannot be trusted to ask it the right questions so that it can give the right answers, even if it has a good level of comprehension, right? And in deficit countries, students already lack mentorship capital. Replacing that with AI does not solve their problems. It institutionalizes their emotional regret. Right? They see it as more of a personal issue than a structural issue. Right? Also, I just remembered someone from the Gov had brought up a point about biases, like humans are biased. I said no shit. So is AI, and human
It's
biases
made
can be.
by human beings. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
biased.
So I said no shit. So is AI, and
Mm-hmm.
human guidance counselors are trained to have as less biases as possible, and their biases can be conditioned, can be are transparent essentially. On the other hand, AI biases can often not be identified by even the even the most advanced technologically advanced people of today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was my
Definitely.
case. That this is all that was, by the way. This is the length of the case.
Stuff like this begs the question that, oftentimes in debates we hear a lot of motions that are just there just to fucking sound profound. Can you stop doing?
No,
Do you think this is a motion worth debating about?
it, okay. So the thing that makes motions worth debating about is, first of all, they have logical depth, right? Second of all, they it's an either or, not like an and thing. So either they have logical depth, or they have implementational probability, right? Or they have academic existing popularity, right? So if a motion has at least two out of the three, to me it's a good debate, right? So
Okay.
this has a likely implementability. Some government might want to do a populist rant and push this paradigm, and AI is very much popular and prevalent in the academic literature of today. So to
Fair
me,
enough.
yes.
I was looking back at some of the debates I was a part of, and even in my essay that I showed to you and that you proofread, I mentioned. Let me pull that up actually, just to be.
Yeah, I'll also open it. Kishle, there we go.
Yes, I quote myself. Even motion selector often feel incredibly pretentious. Quote, the House would abandon the search for universal moral truths from Vox Pop 2025. I had to name drop this. It's motions like these that beg this thought that institutional debating is not really as constructive and as helpful as we give it credit for. I would say that debating is one of the most assertive activities to ever exist, and people should debate because assertiveness is one of the most important characteristics a person should have. However, when you take, I'm not just speaking this from a very pragmatist view, but when you're talking something like universal moral truths, or when you're talking about debating the existence of God or solving the problem of evil using this platform of debating or something similar, that doesn't lead anywhere. Because in
I disagree,
institutional
but go
debate,
on. I disagree. I'll tell you later why. Keep going.
the thing is, I believe that in institutional debating, when you're just given a motion like this, and any motion in general, and people are supposed to conform to a weird binary of yes, I definitely either support this or I'm against of this, instead of the searching for a golden mean. So and the thing is, a lot of the times things are way more nuanced than it's presented to be. The fuck you mean we should just simply abandon universal moral truths?
Okay.
Morality has been a very essential part of just our human character, our civilization. Why shall we abandon that? Or whereas, and even leaning into morality is also the cause of a lot of people going haywire and misconstruing things that leads to, religious disputes. So I think to approach this shall not be taking binary a binarical approach, but more so, okay, we have given this emotion, what sort of constructive can we come up with this on our own? And that's where I think institutional debating really falters, because a lot of it is just, to me,
Performative.
it's performative. It's no different than theater per se. Yeah, what do you think about this?
Yeah, first of all, you love theater. Shut the fuck up. Okay, next. Um, so next, I feel like institutional debating, particularly Oxford debating, uh, the thing that Vox Pop was. By the way, Vox Pop is something we were both in. Great debate, enjoyed it a lot. Right. Um, Gio, please don't kill us. We don't wanna. Anyway, so next thing is Oxford debates in particular. Yes, they are performative, and they're performative by design, not by consequence. Okay. Uh, in Oxford debates, you have 3 minutes to present your case. 3 minutes is not enough time to do anything. It's not enough time to accomplish anything, philosophically speaking, academically speaking. But these debates were never meant to be, these college level Oxford debates are never meant to be replacements of genuine academic conversations, genuine academic discourse, the kind of debates that you essentially glaze. Okay. Uh, what these debates are meant to be is, in a way, the way I see things, these debates are meant to push students into thinking about these very motions that they are selected. And this is why I love philosophical motions, because not everyone has a well-versed knowledge of all disciplines of philosophy, or all disciplines as a whole, right? So I know a lot more about political philosophy than most college students do, right? But there are people who know a lot more about, say, metaphysics than I do in college. There are people who learn a lot more about literature than I do in college. So first thing it allows is this intermingling of people of various spec knowledges. We call this special knowledge or spec knowledge in the debating world. So the first thing it allows is intermingling and exchange of these spec knowledges, and helps people get more uh, knowledgeable in general, right? Just thinking about these things is something people do not do enough,
Yeah.
right? And the next thing is, if you see debates organized by like the CDC, there they have like genuine experts on their field, uh, talking for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, which is like a good amount of time, right? Uh, and because that is not a college level debate competition, I think we need to separate the concept of a debate from a debate competition, because debate competitions are really meant to be an entry point into the world of discourse, not be the world of discourse. So yes, these debates end up being performative sometimes, but no, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And moreover, I'll just end with this, right? So uh, motions like THW abandon the search for a universal moral truth. You can be very nuanced even in an Oxford debate with this motion. So the answer is yes or no. Will it abandon or will it not abandon? At the end of the day, there is an opinion to be had about this. You can say, yeah, I believe it could be abandoned because of this, and it should not be abandoned because of this. That is the core of whatever logic you will have about this topic, right? So it's fun to see your weighing whether it truly should be abandoned, because if you have reasons for both the paradigms, how do you weigh the reasons against each other? That there comes there comes your identity in this motion, right? So all in all, I love institutional debates, and they are very very important to the debating culture. This is like the American Psycho discussion we had. You were like, yeah,
I would like
you were like, I love American Psycho, and this is very important to movie culture. Yeah, I'm like, that shit is dog shit, but it's important to movie culture.
uh, but is this the thing is my main gripe with institutional debating is the lack of a proper solution to the problem presented. What are we doing? Why are we simply standing up for 3 minutes and talking about things? Why is it simply a gauge of my character? Why is it simply a gauge of how well I am able to put forth my points? I need to know at the end of the debate, and the institution should facilitate this. I need to know whether abandoning moral truths is a good thing or not.
By the Okay, let me take a weaker premise. At the end of the debate, I need to know that by whatever was brought up in this house today, by whatever said in this debate today, abandoning moral truth is a good thing or not, right? So some particular institutional debates already solve your problem, because they have spectators. Almost every debate has non-participating spectators in it, right? So in certain debates, they have a vote. Like, okay, you guys heard the propositions present their arguments, you guys heard the opposition present their arguments. Based on whatever in the floor was brought today, what do you think? Should this motion fall or should this motion pass? So that already solves your problem by a bit. And secondly, philosophy never really promises concrete solutions most of the time, does it? I mean, the philosophies I have read, yes, I someone says apple, someone else says tomato. At the end of the day,
Well, I'm
it's
not just simply talking about philosophical motions. I'm talking about the nature of. the motions presented in institutional debating in general. Of course, the role of philosophy is not to answer questions, but to pose more questions. I agree
Exactly.
there.
Oh,
But at the end of the day,
even in non-philo motions. Okay.
but at the end of the day, if institutional debating is only pushing me to take a stance, why don't you solidify me more reasons to either strengthen or weaken my stance? Does that make sense? I like the voting thingy, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really. What is the difference between me then debating in front of everybody or just me writing and publishing an essay?
Because you don't get to hear everyone else's thoughts when you write and publish an essay. That's the
No, when
difference.
I publish an essay and when I submit it for peer reviewing and when I eventually publish the essay, a lot of people are either citing my stuff, building up on that, or
Oh, when you're peer
critique.
reviewing, sure. When you're peer reviewing, it is again, it is a write and read based thing, है ना? So they interpret what you write, and essays you cannot really always. You have to think about the constraints you have during the essays. You have to think about the word count, etc. In most cases, and sometimes what happens in peer reviewing essays, and this also happens in debates. I'm not gonna take a complete stance here, but like, uh, it's a lot more personal interpretations than common interpretations, because okay, say you write an essay, I read your essay, I I have an understanding of your essay which is shaped by my reading of your essay, right? So when someone talks, it is somehow much more direct than that, right? And essay writing is one of my favorite things to do. I mean, I have learned most of the philosophy I know through essay writing. So I'm not critiquing essay writing in any form of function, but that does just because essay writing is good does not mean debating is bad.
I mean, yeah, I mean, sort of.
Yeah.
The thing is, the burden of interpretation does not lie on the person who's reading it, but rather the writer himself. If I write an essay and I give it for you to peer reviewing, and you're like, oh, what the fuck has he written? I cannot understand anything. And if you're better equipped to understand when I speak it out to you, that is my fault that I wasn't able to convey that stuff in
Indeed.
my writing, Hannah. And you will find people who can write brilliantly but have terrible speech.
You can find the other side as well, who can speak brilliantly and
Yeah.
have terrible writing. So therefore, both are ultimately necessary: debates and essays.
But I would like to favor essays or journals
Oh, that is
or
just personal
research.
choice. Yeah, that is just
Yeah,
personal
that is a
choice.
personal choice. The thing is, writing, I believe, is way more stimulating for the mind because not only. See, speaking in front of a crowd is not for everybody. It's really difficult to get into. Not everybody can just hook themselves up on a podium and just extemporate like we do. Writing is way more cozier and when you're in your room all alone and when you're pondering on your thoughts and you're jotting it down, that will feel way more authentic because what happens oftentimes when you're in front of a crowd, you either get socially facilitated or you get socially fucked. You might you might slur up your words or you might completely say the opposite thing of what you intended to say because you got stage fright or you didn't really prepare well or you just don't even believe what you're saying right now.
Maybe,
I know.
yeah. I guess I'll have to give that to you. Yeah.
I find writing to be way more authentic and essays you for public speaking you need a platform. But for essays all you need is a pen or paper or your phone or laptop. Preferably pen
I mean, yeah,
paper.
accessibly, yes, but like then again, if you're gonna invoke the everyone's arguments to be taken into account, to be if you wanna send your essays to peer review, that means you need friends. You need peers to peer review your essay. So there are limitations and constraints to both the sides, and at the end of the day, both of them are incredibly important. Now, which one you favor over the other is like personal choice. No comments. I mean,
You're right. Sister.
personally, I don't see why you will have to pick a binary here at all. Like, I write essays and I debate. What's wrong? You write essays and you debate. What's wrong with that?
As I mentioned, it's just personal choice. Yes, you don't need to pick a binary. You can just do both and be happy about it.
Exactly.
But I personally find SS to be way more congruent with my sort of intuition.
I mean, okay. I find both to be very congruent with my sort of intuition. I don't really have an opinion here. I'll have to
What
formulate
do
one if
you?
I will have to formulate one if this ever comes up in a debate. This house prefers essays to debates, or
I'd,
if I ever write an essay on this.
I'd like to debate about that.
Someday maybe.
Uh-huh.
But
What
like,
was the last essay you wrote?
what was the last essay I wrote? It was a critique against Hannah Arendt.
What did you write
भेजूंगा
with that?
मैं भेजूंगा तुझे. uh, Not just
Uh,
against Hannah Arendt, it was against her some of her concepts about evil, about justice, particularly with notable emphasis on my critique on her banality of evil, which I think to be absolute dog shit. uh,
of course, of course.
yeah, I mean, you know, I'm very much a naturalist, so it follows.
I recently got into. See, both of us really like dystopian literature,
Oh,
and
no, I don't know what a dystopia is. Nope. Nope. No, no, no,
is
no,
it
no. No, 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 no.
and, not and the most natural next step, a subset of dystopian literature, is transgressive literature, and I really got into transgressive literature recently. Let me show you. Hold up.
For the viewers, dystopian literature is what you read when you're done with the world and are sure that this world is going nowhere, and you want to see elaborate ways about how authors fuck up their worlds based on fuck ups of today's world.
And if you want to see how authors present their fucked up worlds to us, you read somebody like Georges Bataille, The Story of the Eye.
I've put it
This
here,
is,
bhai. I mean, I think
this is
I think I told you to read this like last year, but you ignored me.
did you, I probably did. This is one of the most incredibly mindfuck books I've ever read. And the thing with Georges Bataille and people like Georges Bataille, Marquis de Sade, and Bret Easton Ellis, fucking American Psycho, or Clockwork Orange, Story of the Eye. I mean, these books are sort of so anti-academia and just a blow against traditional literature. It's a huge rebellion in itself. American Psycho,
I mean,
the book with.
this is the right kind of anti-intellectualism.
Okay, ironically, I think this is so beyond the scope of mere intellectualism that it surpasses it and it ironically becomes genius.
Okay.
Because the world Bataille describes here, and at the end, you'll see the relationship with his father being explored and how he got sexually abused and shit. That presents such a grim picture that analysts have spent hundreds of years decoding. It is so profound. I mean, if you want to take a bit simpler approach, you could talk about Requiem for a Dream. And was
Okay.
adapted into a film
Okay.
as
Okay.
well.
Okay. Okay. Kishler,
Mhm.
real quick. I was educating a bunch of performative Marxists about Marx today. Okay.
Actually,
Basically, I told them the actual meaning of religion is the opium of the masses. Okay.
okay,
Uh,
bring me through it. How
I
did you
mean, like,
start? What happened?
oh, it was a very random discussion, and someone just casually brought up Marx. And
Mhm.
someone else said, "Oh, bro, have you heard this quote by Marx? Religion is the opium of the masses." And
Mhm.
I laughed for like a good 40 seconds at that, and then I was like, "Yeah, what does it mean? I have never heard of it." Um,
Uh,
Which book is it from?
mhm.
and, and then they're like, no, bro, people get addicted to religion like people get addicted to ganja. I'm like, okay, bro. No. Here's the thing.
Oh god. Of course, Requiem for a Dream makes you remember this shit.
No, no,
Hella.
no, 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 no. That your requiem for a dream talk is very good, but like it did not make me remember of this shit. One of the
That's
people who was in that discussion, who was not making these extreme opinions, who was just staying there because he was enjoying me talk about Marx, just sent me a text, and
okay.
this is a question I want you to tackle. I'll send him this
Okay.
clipping. Okay. Uh, hey Krishano, if religion is the opium of the masses, then how are we supposed to see religion? I asked him, Mane, what is seeing religion?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, how should we perceive it? Like in India, people think religion or religious acts to be the way of approaching the Almighty. So how should we perceive religion? What should be what should be an ideal perception of religion according to Marxist theory or even according to our personal philosophies?
What is that person's ideal depiction of a fucking restaurant? What is that person's ideal depiction of a school or an institution? What is that person's ideal depiction of the concept of physics itself? See, the way religion has shaped our culture, I get it. It's really overwhelming to really
Okay,
dig deep into it.
you're gonna talk and I'm gonna text him that I'm recording my podcast now. Unironically, we are talking about dystopia and religion, and I'm gonna put this in the podcast. Keep talking.
Uh, The thing is, with such a multifaceted and nuanced concept like religion, you have had a lot of brilliant thinkers come up with the way they see religion. And the thing is, this question kind of offends me because you are basically asking me, hey, build a perspective for me. Where is your identity in that? How do you want to see religion? I personally see religion as not just an opium of the masses, but rather, okay, I'm gonna bring up Requiem for a Dream again, but in the film, everybody that was addicted to their manifestations of their Eid, that is what addiction brings forward. Your baser desires are just put forward. They were religiously devoted to drugs. Religion religion basically is just devotion. Devotion that you perform to delude oneself of a life worth living. And you have many facets of that. You
Okay,
can either
okay,
subscribe to Hinduism
okay.
or
I'll talk about
Islam.
my interpretation of religion as a whole later. But why do people, in your purview, delude themselves of this ideal way of living? Let's start with that's a very good starting point to this discussion. I feel like.
Because thinking is hard. Making meaning of stuff is hard. Because making your neurons do things that are not, oh, I need to earn money and feed my family is difficult to do in today's world. So when an idea, when a thought, when a perspective is prescribed to you, which is religion does extremely well, you can have a whole section of yourself just be running in autopilot. That's how critical thinking dies. If you see in conservative households, conservative Hindu households, conservative Christian households, they are the most critically brain dead people you ever fucking see.
Not
So
always,
yeah,
but yeah, in most cases.
yeah, we've discussed this before. Religion and God is a coping mechanism. People like to cope.
Okay,
People like to have their
okay,
intellectual
okay.
activity be on autopilot.
Okay. That's good. It is very, very Freudian, first of all. Secondly,
Gosh.
um, I view it from a moral point of view because, um, as a naturalist, I'm convinced that objective morality has a metaphysical existence. And as an absurdist, I'm convinced that the universe is inherently meaningless, but the search for meaning is what drives your life, right? Now, if I'm asked to prove these assumptions later, I will. But for now, I will present my case on the basis of these two assumptions that I have. Okay. So, I feel like contextual meaning, morality itself is a huge part of contextual meaning about everything, right? So when I'm presented with a decision that I have to perceive as right or wrong, I mean, we we don't like binaries, but our brains like binaries very much. So I'm gonna use this right or wrong. Okay. So when we generally have to perceive something as right or wrong, uh, we want an answer, and humans are gratification monkeys. They want an answer right now. The way you said putting critical thinking on autopilot, not maybe not that harsh, but like some sorts of yes, right? So purely positivist approaches take time, right? And I feel like religion was man's first attempt at searching for this universal morality. Like through empirical observations, asserting things to be good or bad, simply so that people can be satiated with these binaries. And when religions were perceived, positivist approaches weren't really popular, weren't really globally validated as such, and therefore these moral codes that a group of people or over a certain time continually interpreted, these organize their way into religion. Now someone will ask, okay, then why do we have religious festivals? Why do you have the concept of God? Right? Because religion is inherently tied to God. You cannot go to religion without God as such in today's world. So uh, God, I had mentioned this in a past episode. People seek authority, people seek forgiveness, people seek benevolence, people seek omnipotence, people seek an omniscient being. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go by a Freudian analogy, people seek a powerful being. है ना? So, again, due to the non positivist nature of earlier attempts at morality, at meaning, people conjured a God. I feel like if God made man, that only happened after man made God.
Yeah,
So
I can see that.
that's my take on religion and God. And about festivals, I mean, this was not really asked by anyone, but I'll mention this anyway since this is a podcast, not an institutional debate. Okay. Uh, um, festivals are man's way, again, since people want meaning, since people want to be happy. Festivals are people's ways of celebrating what good they have discovered in the life around them. Like
Yeah,
uh,
that's a good
Chri-
way to put
Christmas is borrowed from a pagan tradition that came from like agricultural celebrations. Um, a lot of the Durga ropes are borrowed from local deities that were allegories of things found in nature. I had given examples of this in the previous episodes as well.
Yeah,
So, in general, that is my purview of religion.
that's really interesting. And even not just from a morality standpoint, but we also discussed in a previous episode that when man couldn't really understand why the things around him were, or how the things around him were, man conjured up a god to fill in those holes.
Exactly.
And those
That is
holes,
okay. An analogy here that is extremely similar to
Mhm,
how our brain works. है ना?
mhm.
When you
Yeah,
when you see an obvious gap in images in your peripheral vision that exists, you don't really see the gap a lot of the time. Your brain fills it up for you. है ना?
yeah, that's principle of closure.
Principle of
Yeah.
closure. Exactly. I was trying to not take names, but okay, you just took the name.
I mean, yeah. Religion has always been such a fascinating topic, which kind of begs the question. This is precisely why I really like Nietzsche, because he was such. I mean, when he wrote Beyond Good and Evil and completely shoved everybody against this objective morality, this rigid way of being that was later perfected by Albert Camus with absurdism. I really like Nietzsche's take on how God is dead and how we have killed him.
That was
Because
a
by
that was the desk of the last episode as well, right? The God
yeah, the
episode.
God by subscribing to such rigid morality, and slowly that morality is not really shaped by your faith but rather your baser instincts, your desires. Man inherently has killed God, and it's so profound. I'm not gonna act like a pretentious motherfucker and go, oh, I 100% understand Nietzsche, but something about that really spoke out to me.
My favorite Nietzsche work is the gay science. है ना?
Why is it? I mean, I get it.
Yeah, of course you get it, motherfucker. Um, anyways, I mean, the way it is a reflection, first of all. It is not
Mhm,
a priori philosophical prediction. It is an a posteriori reflection. I think that
mhm.
divide is crucial. Many people miss to acknowledge about the gay science. Again, I don't understand Nietzsche 100%. I understand him maybe like 5% at
Yeah.
best, on my best day. Okay, but like the gay science, the way it shows how religion and philosophy and life and enjoyment got separated from each other,
Mhm.
right? And how is um, how Nietzsche's own desire is accommodating of both pleasure and pain. है ना? I'm gonna speak in very loose terms today, but like uh, that really spoke out to me. I mean, one of the smartest people I know. When I told him I read Nietzsche, he was like, "Huh? You're one of those, aren't you?" Like, what?
God.
And like you probably think like Andrew Tate is a god or something. I'm like, no, what the fuck? He was making a joke, but like still.
And that's why I really hate the Nazis, because the Nazis used Nietzsche as like their main propaganda tool, the philosophy. The thing is, the best thing, if we trace back, if we trace back the influence of Nietzsche, which was sort of derived from Dostoevsky and Freud, and whose basic philosophies were mostly derived from older works of Heidegger, whose older works. My point is, it
We
all
can
traces back to God.
we can trace all the way back to Young.
Young, Young, Young came way later. We can trace all of these back to Darwin. Like if you read Nietzsche or if you read Freud, the Darwinist influences are extremely prevalent.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, fair,
I
fair.
mean, we were reading the. I don't remember if it was on that list, but On the Origin of Species is probably top five most influential books throughout civilization. Okay, for the viewers, you don't know this, but me and Krishanu's other day, we were going through the top 100 most influential books.
Okay, okay,
Good
okay,
things out.
okay. A characterization on going through. I was on a call with Kishle. We were yapping about shit. And Kishle was scrolling while yapping and he came across 100 best books ever written. He read me through the entire list and never shared me the link. Like, "यार, ये देख लो, चलो ठीक है." No, he's like, bitch, listen. This, can you believe Harry Potter is placed above fucking Carl Jung?
Well, they had the Philosopher's Stone greater than the Philosopher. Oh my! I can't believe this. They had
So,
definitely.
one second. this article I'll tell you guys what happened for the viewers in one line, then he can complain about it for 20 minutes. Okay. So he fell into one of those BuzzFeed traps. He hates himself because he fell into one of those BuzzFeed traps. And then he dragged me to that BuzzFeed trap. And then my bitch ass went into that BuzzFeed trap with him.
Wait, let me pull the article right now so I can
And as a
complain.
result, I hate him. I hate myself. I hate BuzzFeed. He hates BuzzFeed. He hates himself and he hates me.
Oh god.
The 100 books discussion went on for a good 50 minutes.
More than 50 minutes. It was a hard 1 hour 20.
No. The call was about a lot of things.
What were we doing? We were just fucking yapping about books, man.
We were
Of
yapping
course
about
it's like
books that
that.
transitioned into 100 most influential books.
Oh god. This is insane. Okay, to have the Bible and the Quran on top, I get it.
No,
I mean,
Kishle, we are not gonna do this now. We are not gonna do that now. Nope, not happening.
bro, let me
Nope.
complain, bro. How dare you have the Philosopher's
I'll
Stone
throw this
over?
nail. I'll throw this nail file at you, Kishle.
They had Philosopher's Stone over meditations of first philosophy. Like, are you kidding
I'll
me?
throw this institutional debating medal I recently got at you, Kishle.
Oh my god. Uh, we need to write an article about the top fucking 50 books, man. Because that shit wasn't cutting it.
Or maybe someday we make a blog and alongside this podcast as well. Who knows?
Yeah,
Talking
maybe.
about this, many people have asked me personally about when are we gonna make this thing a cross-platform podcast available on multiple facets.
Ooh, yeah, we gotta do that.
That is whenever this bitch ass decides to upload the past two episodes. Okay, because every in the Google in a Google Drive we have, because every other bit of the process except literally uploading those two episodes has already been done. I've already done all of that.
Okay,
You don't have a defense. Shut the fuck up.
it's really cold out there. It's really really
I have been
cold out
asking
there.
you since the fucking second episode was recorded. The जब 20 डिग्री था.
Okay,
पिछले
okay,
जब
the
20
beast.
डिग्री था. अभी
Oh
11
god.
डिग्री है. मैं अभी 8 डिग्री है. Fuck 11 डिग्री.
You can blame this fucker over here. To be fair.
Yeah, okay, that argument defeats it. Yes, upload them.
Uh,
Kabhi bhi we will make this. Okay, don't. I
oh
mean,
yeah, I
just
gotta upload that shit today. Oh my god. Yeah.
no. We'll make this like after this episode comes out. We'll be like, okay, we are on other platforms also now, and we just complained about it on the podcast. Have at it.
Oh god. What's your relationship with Spotify?
I don't use
I bet
Spotify.
you don't use Spotify. What do you use?
I YouTube and YouTube Music.
YouTube. See, I used to be a YouTube person, but then I fell into the jaws of capitalism, and Spotify kind of gazed back at me, and I gazed back at it again, and now I have a Spotify subscription.
So
I have become the very thing I swore to destroy.
I mean, the kind of music I listen to, it's like live performances, both hai, old ass
Mm,
recordings which will never be put on Spotify, both hai. So
mm.
I don't get everything from Spotify that I want, so I don't use it. It's not as simple.
I mean, I love discovering new music, and I just have Spotify running in the background, and I'm like, "Hey, yo, what is that song?" I look at that song, it's some old ass fucking song, or probably a new ass fucking song, really indie stuff. I discovered Saba recently. He's an indie rapper, and I was like, "Oh, let me just fucking run through his entire discography, finish his discography in like 3 hours." It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. Did you know how I discovered Pink Floyd?
No.
Wait, how does a normal person discover Pink Floyd? They'll probably have a music geek. They're gonna recommend that to them.
You wanna know how I discovered Pink Floyd? It's very unusual.
I'll listen to that. I discovered Pink Floyd because it was around class 11 or 12, probably 11.
I discovered it in
Early
fourth
11.
grade, bro.
Let me cook. Let me cook.
Yeah,
So I was having my Spotify running in the background, and I was writing some assignment or some bullshit, and then a great gig in the sky plays. I'm like, yo, who is this vocalist? What am I listening to? And then I fucking went in the Pink Floyd rabbit hole, and now they are arguably top five greatest musicians ever.
makes sense.
How did you discover Pink Floyd?
Remember music room of our school?
Yeah, they had a Pink Floyd thing there. I remember
I
that.
asked the teacher, okay, who are these people? The teacher
Mhm.
simply told me they are the greatest band to ever exist on the on the face of earth.
Mm.
I said, gotta check them out, I guess. I came home, I checked them out, I understood dog shit
Ah,
because I was a fourth or fifth grade kid.
mhm.
Several years later, COVID time mein, ninth grade maybe, I get a YouTube recommendation.
That's it.
I hit a YouTube recommendation, and I'm into Pink Floyd now. That's it.
What are your top five Pink Floyd songs or albums?
Damn, let me pull out the discography. I don't want to be
Okay,
wrong. I don't want to be wrong here. Pink
okay.
Floyd discography. Um. So, have you heard? Um.
I
Have you
have
heard?
heard everything, by the way. I have finished their whole discography.
Okay. No, no, no. The new album that came out, The Gnome.
Yeah,
Okay. That's not in
I
my.
didn't like. I didn't like it, by the way.
That's not. I told you that's not in my list.
Okay.
What is wrong with you, nigga? Um. Obviously, Smoking Blues,
Mm-hmm.
Passage
Fair
of
enough.
Time,
Passage of time.
Prism,
Mm-hmm. Prism.
Obscured by Clouds,
Okay.
and the fifth is not from. The fifth is not an album. The fifth is a singular song. It's Pigs on the Wing
Okay.
from the album Animals.
Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. Really into the old stuff, I see. Pink Floyd.
I am really into old music in general. I don't know why old music just hits me.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of this band called Taj Mahal? It's like a
Nope.
1960s English rock band. I'll send you.
Ooh. Okay.
Their most famous song is called Honky Tonk Women. I'll send you.
Ah. I think Animals by Pink Floyd is one of the most revolutionary and greatest achievements in music to ever be, I mean, be performed. You know, everybody gangsta until Roger Waters starts reading Animal Farm, you know.
Hannah,
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I really like adaptations.
you should
I
watch a
think the,
film.
what the fuck?
No, 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 no. A particular film, simply for its sound design. Okay.
Okay.
It's called Apocalypto. It's 2006 film.
Ooh, I have that in my list. My watch list is like 700 films long. I probably have that.
Okay.
I mean, the way Pink Floyd has revolutionized like, psychedelic music in general is still so prevalent in today's even pop. I would give more psychedelic credit to maybe King Crimson,
Okay.
but Pink Floyd definitely is that cornerstone.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you see
What?
dystopia, you see
Mm,
Orwell. But are
mm-hmm,
1984 Animal Farm the best dystopian books ever written? Not necessarily.
mm-hmm.
That's the thing about psychedelic music and Pink Floyd.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. They are the pioneers of
They are the
psychedelic
poster
music.
childs.
Yeah, the same way the Beatles are the pioneers of music in general, that
I love
90s era.
Beatles. I love Beatles. I love Beatles
I
so
love
much.
Beatles too. I won't say I'm a fan because I haven't gone through their entire discography like I have with Pink Floyd, but Revolvers is a really good album.
Okay. So condition for Kishla to be a fan of something is to going through the entire discography. Okay. You should try listening to Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan someday. He has like
God.
2,000 songs.
I'd rather read Hegel, man.
What happened? Oh, do you want to turn on sticky keys? No, I have a sticky key right here with me doing a podcast.
Sticky keys is crazy. Sticky keys se yaad aaya. I'm in a really sticky situation because you know how it happens in fucking winter times when you're feeling really hot from the inside, but the moment you take your jacket off, now you're fucking freezing cold.
Yeah,
This is the
what I do is wear really thin garments
Mhm.
and stay rolled under a combo.
Classic.
Yes,
I
I'm a
usually
Bengali guys.
I usually just go play badminton if I'm feeling really cold. That shit warms me up.
Makes sense.
Yeah. What are you hyped for this year? Do you have any resolutions?
No,
You don't have resolution? You don't do resolutions?
no,
Why is that?
because I don't want to set goals for the entire year and fuck them up in 10 days. Because every time I have made a resolution, it's been so shitty. Like I'm gonna wake up early, proceeds to wake up at noon, the very 3 days after.
That's the thing. I believe that fucking up your goals is one of the most important things a person can do. Fuck up your goals. And then you'll know how
Oh no, I
and the
have goals
way.
all right. I have goals all right. I have goals. I just don't see the
Mhm.
point of making a set of goals because New Year happened. I
No,
have
no, New Year resolutions need not be a set of tangible, achievable goals. It can just be something like, oh, I really want to be proud of myself today. And how you're gonna be proud of yourself? Maybe you read one book a day, or maybe you, for the span of entire year, maybe you have this film you want to create, and you dedicate that entire year of making a film. That's a good satisfaction.
in that sense, like projects I want to take up this year. You know, a project I want to take up this year. Come on, come on, my guy, come on.
But what else? Because the thing is, this year has started out so magically. Okay, let me tell you something. I'm not really a sports person. I never was into sports. I never saw the hype in them. I never was really an athletic kid. Neither we weren't athletic kids back in the day, but recent,
About us not being athletic kids. I
recently,
have no shut the fuck up. I have an anecdote about Kishla in our school life.
oh god,
So I thought I was the least athletic kid in school. But then Kishla agreed to play football with us one day.
oh god.
I don't know why I agreed, but like Kishla agreed as well. I'm like, okay, let's go. I am terrible at taking long shots. He's terrible at passing ball to people 12 inches from him. I mean,
This
I
football's
mean, no, no,
hard.
no, no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you know, your body has joints. You don't have to do this to kick a ball. You can just tweak this thing. You know, there's
Okay,
like
you acting like you weren't doing the same thing back in the day, okay?
no. I was bad, but a lot better, bro.
Oh god.
You do realize there's like I'm pretty sure it's called a ball and socket joint in your knees, right?
Oh my god, this guy is fucking. Dude, football's hard. I'm not good with my legs. I like arm stuff. That's why I play chess.
FYI, this guy sucks at chess.
Okay, I don't suck at chess. Okay, I'm like 700, which is
Yeah, he
decent.
sucks at chess.
Oh my god.
I consider myself to be generally sucking at chess, and my elo is 900.
Oh my god. This guy. What was I talking about? Oh, sports. I really like badminton because when you establish a harmony with your body and your mind, in which most sports facilitate that, it just feels like you're feels better than having sex, I guess.
I
Probably,
am.
possibly. Because when you hit the shuttlecock and it makes that sound. Have you watched this film called Challengers?
Yes. I
You
know where.
have?
Yes, I have. I know where this is going. Keep
Okay,
keep going.
this is playing. Dude, guys, play sports. It is better than copulating. Take it from me. When the racket hits the fucking cork and it makes that sound and it goes over there and they hit it and you hit it and you're hitting each other and they're hitting on you and you're hitting on it's
Okay.
pretty cool.
Word change karo. Hitting on you, hitting on them does not happen in sports. Ideally.
What kind of sports have you been playing?
Man, I love badminton, and this guy is ruining it for me.
Oh god. Oh god. These babies sleep with me practically. Have I not told you this? Oh god, I love badminton so much. But a sport.
Remember when I was talking about throwing things at you?
Oh
What
god.
theater? I'm gonna put this in the fridge for overnight.
Oh god, nah, bro. It's already cold as fuck. But have you ever had a this? I had a recent epiphany once related to sports. I recently
Epiphany, naki stroke.
epiphany, genuinely.
Okay.
I went to play golf recently,
Oh, I saw your statuses, alright.
and you know, I had this preconceived notion, like everybody else, that golf is one of the most boring sports ever to watch and possibly to play as well. But we went golfing because I had time and I wanted to spend my time. And golf is one of the most. Golf had a complete different level of serenity to it. It was the calmest sport I have ever played. Usually, what happens in sports that it's really hectic and it's really fast paced. But golf was incredibly smooth, and the slowness of it really touched me. And I never thought I would like golf or I would even spiritually connect with golf, but I did, and I'm gonna go play again next week.
Kishla
Yeah.
using the word spiritually connected.
Dude, you have to come play golf with me. It is one of the greatest experience I've ever
चलेंगे
had.
बुला लो मुझे.
Yeah, Ajana, next week.
Tell me time. Next week, if you do it on 10th and 11th, I'm gonna fuck you over. Do it on other days.
Okay, we'll just talk about it later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you ever connected spiritually to something like this?
No.
You haven't. That's some-
What the fuck is connected spiritually? I did not. You have stooped down to levels beyond my capacity now.
when I say like a spiritual connection, I meant there are things that you do and you go, oh, this shit is just designed for me. I like this so much. This is made for me.
Oh
When
yeah,
I pick up a
every
golf
no,
course,
yeah. Oh, in that sense. Acha, acha. Yeah,
in a
you.
sense, like I am able to devote myself to this activity as long as I'm alive.
In that sense, I don't do something unless I'm at least somewhat spiritually connected to it. Debating,
Mhm.
math, literature. I mean, I'm a very generally boring and lazy person. I will not do it unless I. Okay, I always say this about conversations, but this is applicable to anything in general about me. If I can, A, I learn from it. B, someone else learns from me. C, I have fun. What is definition of fun? I don't fucking know. I have fun. Unless an activity does two of these three, I ain't doing that shit.
Damn. You know what I learned from golf?
Bolo?
The key takeaway I had after my golfing experience was two things. Hitting ball far is fun, and number two, sports needn't always be characterized by its fast pacedness.
Oh, no, no, not. When I say I learn from it, does not mean I get more informed about the world about it. No, no, no. When I say I learn from it, it means, okay, it could mean that I get more informed about the world about it. It also means that I know something more about this thing that probably did not know about before doing this activity.
I
Like,
mean, when you are undertaking a new activity, you're bound to learn something new about it.
not
But
necessarily. Depends on the
no, when
activity, really.
that's the thing about practical engagement, that if you're engaging something physically with an activity, you are bound to at least subconsciously learn about things. And this is the thing we discussed on the first episode, that a blind scientist lady having researched all about color suddenly cures her blindness, and she sees color for the first time. Does she get to learn something new? I think in practicality you do get to learn something new. I learned that the fast pacedness of sports is so characterized by the desire to reach somewhere, whereas in golf,
And also capitalism.
I mean, that's everywhere. But in golf, the most of my fun was just swinging the racket and seeing the ball go far. And it was a complete novel and newfound experience of just pure stillness and serenity. It was like, you know how, have you ever skipped rocks on a lake?
Yes.
That's what golf feels like to me.
Okay, we'll go golfing next week. Okay, fine.
Yeah, we have
Okay,
to.
yeah, okay. No, yeah, I will. Uh, um, Thank you for that very elaborate sales pitch, sir. Um, when do we talk about that? I don't know that.
That,
Yeah,
you
that.
want to do that?
Yeah, that.
I mean, it's your call. You tell me, when do you want to disclose it?
That. First of all, what is that?
The project?
No, 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 no.
Okay, then what are we talking about?
The incident of today's knowledge system class.
Oh, please, take the stage.
How long
Take
is
the
this
stage.
already? Depends. How long is this shit already?
It's like 30 minutes.
It's not. We started recording at kitna? Like 9. Oh, it's 1 hour 8 minutes, nigga. Not 30 minutes. Anyways, I'll tell this. Anyways, so um, according to the new national educational policy, not new education policy, according to national education policy, apparently they're gonna have to learn a few Indian knowledge system papers as part of every discipline. Okay, in like most of the national universities or something. I don't know. The bottom line is, all I know is a new paper was added in my curriculum this semester, which was not in the original design of the curriculum, and that is an IKS paper. An IKS paper, the thing of the paper is mathematics in ancient India, about how old monks philosophized most of modern not most of, at least some of modern mathematics today. So Our prof really wanted an interactive class on it. I'll I'll tell you more about this prof off the record. But he wanted a more interactive class on it, so he was like asking people. Today was the first day of my semester, by the way. I could not go yesterday. Yesterday was like the official first day, but today was my first day. Anyhow, today was the first class of this particular paper. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, people are telling, Bodhia's theorem being Pythagoras theorem, supposedly, whatever. Yeah, this examples. He calls me and मेरे अंदर का डिबेटर जाग जाता है.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how मेरे अंदर का डिबेटर is.
Mm-hmm.
I essentially very formally talk about the existence of mathematics as a derivative of formal logic. I talk about how contributions really could mean a lot of things. I mean, the man who shit on a piece of land that is farmland now, he shit say 10 years ago. His shit is also contribution because manure,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is a very bad example, but like you get the point, right?
Uh-huh.
So contribution means a lot of things, and today all we know is through contributions of man, obviously, and this entire game of seeing who did things first is extremely performative, extremely hubristic. I don't know what the word is. Hubristic? What's the word?
Of hubris.
No, I'm gonna find out the word. Shut up. Um, mm, bam,
And
bam,
of no
bam.
practical usage, to be honest. Because
No,
I
no. There's
believe
a
all
word.
of this.
There's a word. Roko, wait. Hubristic is the word. Okay.
Okay.
Is extremely hubristic and is of no practical productivity to the discipline as a whole.
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of said this in a obviously much better tone because he's a fucking professor. Right. People were talking throughout the class. I was done. There was a silence for a good 1 minute.
Okay.
People were like, shit, why did he say this? How did he say this? From where did they pull this off? Mind you, this is the math professor. He has
Mm-hmm.
acknowledged that I do not know a lot about this subject. We are told to teach this subject to you guys. I will read up, and from the next class I'll be more informed. He has acknowledged this in the very beginning of the class. Very power move for a professor to do, especially in Indian academia. Very power move. I talked about how Descartes was more of a philosopher than a mathematician, but he also kind of formalized proto-coordinate geometry, right?
Mm-hmm.
As an example. So, and of course, then about Leibniz, about Newton, how these people were not necessarily only scientists, but their contributions to science are innumerable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the reason he gave me to study this paper, I have not found a counter to that yet.
Okay.
He's like, okay, and I only said this because I know this person can handle disagreement. This person can talk about things we disagree on, and this person quite enjoys it. He's not a cock, basically. Okay. So he was like, imagine you find your great grandfather's watch while scavenging through your attic. It does not work right now. It is very outdated. Some of the metal is rusted, some of the internal parts are hemorrhaged. But wouldn't you have joy in finding out something that belonged to your great grandfather? I said, yes, probably. So he's like, yes, this is of low to no productivity in the discipline, but that does not mean you should not dig deep about it. This is like a requisite paper. Study as little as you're required to like go through the paper, but don't dismiss it as a whole. I'm like, yeah, damn, that makes sense. This is the first time someone has been able to convince me logically of this.
I mean, you'll find this in not just math, but in psychology as well. We had this whole chapter on just like Vedic yogic exercises and the impact it has on our brain, and I had the same predicament. And I went to my teacher and I'm like, why do we need to study this? This is of no particular or practical use to me. And even if you're talking about yoga, there are way there are better forms of yoga that are particularly designed to tackle the things that these types of yogas are talking about. Why do we need to study this?
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't like you. I completely dismissed it, and there wasn't a single question paper. There wasn't a single question that came in the paper, thankfully. But
This
but the
paper
thing
does
is,
this paper does not have an exam, by the way. I mean, you have to write an essay and they mark you on the essay you write, so that's okay.
ah, I mean, I really hate this blatant nationalistic propagandization they use in academia and education in general. You go to some place like a liberal arts school and they will not even accept a minutia of these kinds of nationalistic charged behaviors, and I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
I mean, I'll not talk a lot about this, but I'll talk a little about this because you have to watch what you say. Everything is public here. So, um, first of all, the academic curriculum of a place is designed by the Ministry of Education of that place. And the Ministry of Education of that place is not a purely educational body, it's also a political body. So, the current political narratives of the ruling party will somehow inadvertently find their way into the educational policy. Can't help it. And you know where this is going.
I don't blame them, to be fair, because if I was the prime minister or a
I would
part of,
see if I was the prime minister, I would significantly improve the math curriculum of today.
I would simply improve every curriculum there is by hiring fucking competent people. But yeah, the state of education in India is getting grimmer day by day.
Oh, that is universal gospel truth.
Mm. Gives you more reason to just get the fuck out of here and make a life for yourself. Huh?
Kishle, don't push Western propaganda here, Kishle.
I didn't even mention the West, Krishan. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Kishle. Okay, Orange Assassins. I'll DM you his address. Just
No, you're
just
fucked.
just DM me on Instagram whenever, kabhi bhi. Okay.
Crazy episode. Crazy
Um,
goddamn it.
I mean, it barely started and it got over. And I thought we have been talking for like 20 minutes, and it has been like.
Yeah. I really thought it was like just 20 minutes, and now see it's fucking like 10, 15. That's crazy. That's.
I mean, see, this is something that happened in the first episode as well, and the first
Yeah.
episode was nice. NAIS nice.
Uh-huh.
So I don't hate the state that we're in. In fact, I quite enjoy it.
Yeah. I love
You're
this
like
too.
you're like when the fuck did the hour go by?
Great episode, man.
Um, what do you want to talk about? Okay, we thought we would talk about dystopia in this episode, in the last episode. What do you want to?
Yeah. Well, well, to be fair, we did talk about the state of
Yeah,
education
yeah. For
towards the
like,
end of dystopia.
oh, okay. Before we go on with the concluding remarks, I think this is very important.
Hmm.
Yeah, keep talking.
What fuck kind of bank are you gonna rob? What the hell?
Notice the color. That's
I'm,
what's important here.
I'm blocking this fucker. I don't know you. I don't know this guy. I don't.
Okay, let me end this episode here, guys. Kishle is probably not gonna talk to me for a good amount of time now. He's gonna go back to ignoring me and not replying to my messages. And this is definitely not us being performative. Good night, everyone. Keep watching Tenderlings if it exists anymore after this.